Okay, so hopefully some of all of you readers will start sending in some crazy bee stories so you don't have to keep listening to some of mine every single month. But this crazy story is set about, oh man, 16 years ago. I was 12 or 13 and I had just fallen in love with beekeeping. I was a brand new beekeeper. Didn't even have a beehive yet. I just had a bee veil, equipment, etc. And I got a call from a lady who had bees in her house and wanted someone to remove them. And so I thought, wow, free bees. And I didn't realize yet that there was really no such thing as free bees. But I was so excited at the prospect of going and getting these bees for free out of this house that I just couldn't wait. And so I found a friend of mine who had been a beekeeper in the past. He was an older gentleman who was willing to come help me do this bee removal. And so we get there. The bees had moved up into the eave of this lady's house. And so we started cutting on the eave. I was absolutely terrified. I don't think I did anything other than gingerly puff the smoker a few times. The friend of mine cut the eave open, and it was actually a swarm that had just moved in, and we pulled it out, got it in a box, no problem. And then the lady comes out, super nice lady, single lady, and she came out and she said, so are you guys gonna put the house back together now? And I was like, I'm like 12. You probably don't want me putting your house back together. And so she said, okay, well, that's fine. Don't worry about it. Thanks for getting the bees. I'll call a carpenter in. Anyway, seems like the end of the story, right? I go home, put the bees in a hive. I think they left the next day. It was the beginning of a long journey of understanding there's no such thing as free bees. Anyway, so years go by. I mean, probably, I don't know, 7 years go by. And I'm much older, like, 20 instead of 12. And I'm selling bees, right? And so I was trying to sell a couple hundred beehives to a variety of people. I was advertising them. Anyway, so it's late one night, it's dark outside, and this couple had purchased a couple beehives from me, and I was loading them in the back of their van. And the guy, as I'm putting the last beehive in the back of his van, says, hey, come here, I want to show you something. And he hands me a picture of me and this other guy doing this bee removal when I was a little kid, a snapshot of us doing it that lady had taken. And I said, man, we were the only ones there, and she was single. How on earth did you get this picture? And he said, so funny story, I was the carpenter that lady called to come fix that hole that you made when you did the bee removal. She was single, I was single. We started chatting, hit it off, went on a date, got married, and now we're getting into beekeeping. And so he said, I just wanted to say thanks, man. Because of that bee removal, I ended up finding a wife, and we've been happily married ever since. So, hey, who knew, right, that beekeepers could be matchmakers too. So that's my romantic, it wasn't too crazy, but that's my romantic beekeeping story. So hopefully you guys keep sending those stories in, and we'll get some of your crazy, maybe even, hey, romantic beekeeping stories in the magazine.